Predictive programming, this is a remake, they already took my video down. But predictive programming is a tool that these guys use. And I'm gonna tell you, there's multiple reasons for it. Look, they practice black magic. I've studied black magic, not for me, but to figure out what they're doing, you know, like with the symbols they use and how they cast spells and do rituals like doing the Super Bowl. And one of the things they do is predictive programming. There's multiple reasons for it. I only have 3 minutes, but here's one of the reasons they do predictive programming. They are designing the future for you, okay? And they want you to go along with it. So if they put it out there in magazines and movies, what they're gonna do to you, by the time the changes come, you go along with the programming, all right? It's a smooth transition. Here's another reason they do it. They do it because they believe in karma. I'm not telling you this is how karma works. This is what they believe, right? They believe that predictive programming erases their bad karma. What I mean by that is they're gonna show you what they're gonna do to you before they do it. Like if they're gonna kill a bunch of people, like they tell you about 9/11, and if they warn you ahead of time and you don't get out of the way of the danger, well, then they're not responsible for that, okay? Their karma is erased. Here's another thing. They do it as a form of casting spells to bring things into fruition. Like when you have goals and you write them down, okay, and you keep it in your mind, it comes into fruition. They understand how natural laws of the world work. Like when you write something down, when you spell something, when you're spelling, you're casting a spell to bring it into fruition. So here's something, look, here's something called the Georgia Guidestones. All right, this is predictive programming. This is down in Georgia. It's the 10 Commandments for the New World Order. If you read the first one, it says to maintain a population of 500 million people. That means a lot of people got to go. There's a depopulation program. They're warning you about that ahead of time to erase their karma. Look at this right here. There's a transgender agenda, and they're told you about it years ago, right, with Bruce Jenner. Look at this.
And now please welcome Mr. Bruce Jenner.
All right, guys, you've seen that kind of stuff. You know what's up. Let's look at this one. They told you about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, the helicopter crash. Look, I grew up with a band called Supertramp, and this is on their album cover, and you see the Twin Towers here, and then there's the U and the P. But if you reverse that, it's 9/11. They work in reverse, and they do things backwards. It's really creepy shit, like backmasking and music and everything. Look, they told you about Trump in 2000, all right, that he was going to be president. Look at that. Because look, I'm telling you right now, Trump is a chump. He's not here for you guys, all right? He was bailed out years ago back in the 90s by these guys, and they knew that they would use him in the future. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted. The pitchforks are coming.
Man, they put it right in front of our face in movies. Well, if you haven't seen the movie Awake, this is a little spoiler. Sounds crazy at first glance, but let's listen to what else he has to say.
People said that the earth was flat, so the earth was flat. Then they said the earth was round, so the earth was round.
I don't think y'all truly understand the magnitude that this holds. Yeah, his statement's true, but it's more than that. We need to understand that the human mind creates its reality, not only individually how we perceive things, but as a collective. And if you have enough of us thinking about one thing at once, it's going to become reality.
Besides,
eyes on the road, please, always.
I know people talk about something, right? Then it becomes fact. Then they put it in the books, and then the book becomes fact. Then settlement. Then no one understands it anymore, or even talks about it anymore.
Perfectly summed up.
Part 2, listen closely to both of these clips.
I can't do that. She's seen too much. You both have. It doesn't have to be this way. I have no choice. Times have changed. Scaring isn't enough anymore. But kidnapping children? I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die, and I'll silence anyone who gets in my...
Pain purifies steam. Fear.
Monster Inc. displays the fact on why they take so many kids and that they do it all the time. And Dr. Sleep explains that they do it because it gives them immortality, feeding off of their actual adrenochrome. Everybody has adrenochrome, but people don't realize that children's adrenochrome is purified because they're innocent and their souls are pure. And this also brings up the fact that I told y'all about they love kids with gifts also, because it's like feeding onto their powers that they already possessed and they just want more. Put it in hindsight. We just need to wake up.
Anymore. Who needs elites? Who needs to be led? This is another revelation that comes from working with psychedelics, is we do not need leaders. They are not over us, telling us what to do. They may imagine that that's what they're doing, but they have no right to do that. And the moment we begin to wake up and start asking really profound questions about the nature of reality and about the society we live in, their power is instantly diminished. And I think that's why we've seen such vigor and real nasty unpleasantness put into this horrible, wicked thing called the war on drugs, which has been used as an excuse to enter the inner sanctum of people's lives. See, if I'm not sovereign over my own consciousness, if I can't make free choices about my own consciousness, if I can't make those free choices while doing no harm to others, then I am not free in any useful or meaningful sense. And the moment that I free myself, then I become a danger to those who run things in the world. Anybody who has been led to question the nature of things profoundly as a result of psychedelics is a danger to the status quo. We risk being thrown in prison, we risk having our reputations destroyed if the powers that be enter our home and find that we're using psychedelics. I mean, this is really an Orwellian world that we've created. How dare some guy in a suit sitting in government tell me what to do with my consciousness, while at the same time they're allowing, you know, the glorification and glamorization of alcohol, which is one of the most dangerous drugs on the planet. I mean,
bad drug policy. We got horrible drug policy, man. We got people in jail for getting high. And the government always says drugs are illegal because they're bad for you and we're trying to protect society. But the government don't give a fuck about your safety. They sell guns at Walmart. They don't give a fuck about you. Nah, the government's like this. The government, they don't want you to use your drugs. They want you to use their drugs. So every night on TV, you see a weird-ass drug commercial trying to get you hooked on some legal shit. And they just keep naming symptoms till they get one that you fucking got, okay?
Exposing Agenda 21.
That means that they don't want anybody living out in the boonies. Anybody that's got a couple of acres of land and his own water supply and can grow his own food and that kind of thing, or have some sheep or some chickens, these people are a threat to the collectivist society because they aren't going to go to the politicians and say, please feed me, please clothe me, please give me shelter. They tend to be independent. That's the secret behind Agenda 21. They want people out of the country. They want corporations out there growing all the food and that kind of thing, but they don't want anybody living out there because that way they cannot be controlled. In order to control mankind, we have to get them all into the big cities. We have to rack them up and stack them up, get them dependent on the state for their food.
Watch this video and tell me what you think.
Which, as any schoolboy knows, is contained in water in the ratio of 2 parts to 1 of oxygen. A formula described by Jules Verne more than 100 years ago. So what have we been waiting for? The engine can also power a generator, to provide light and heat.
The reason why those motherfuckers took away water for being in cars is because people would have it easy and don't have to go get that stupid ass gas that fuck up your car in the long run. You spending more money having to get your fuel cleaned out and shit. If you don't do that, your car gonna act very funny. That's the reason why they took away that water shit.